Shalom, everybody. This is Brother Mike Joseph coming to you from King James Bible University out of the House of the Lost Sheep of Israel. Before we get started, I'd like to let everyone know that KJBU and House of the Lost Sheep of Israel and the House of Jehovah has no affiliations, ties with any Christian camps, Christian doctrines, Israelite camps, Israelite churches, Christian churches, Black power movements, Black Hebrew movements, anything of that sort. We stand alone using the 1611 King James Bible, sovereign, with the Apocrypha. All right, today we'll be speaking on insecurities and being insecure. Some of us may still deal with this, and some may not, but today we'll learn a few things about it. So, in this world, there lies a small disease. This disease can go away over time, but this disease can grow under certain circumstances. It can spread and attach itself to other diseases, and it's born through the eyes and the ears, and it is felt through the heart. This disease may cause anxiety, depression, envy, and a couple more things. Man-made, there are man-made medicines for it that can be very drastic and can lead up to death. This disease is called insecurity and being insecure. And this world is defined as a state of feeling anxiety, fear, or self-doubt. There are different parts to this that we can explore. Many people face insecurity from worldly expectations, as pushed from social media and television, all external things that feeds the internal mind. And we will start here at Psalms 139. And we're going to go to verse 14. And it reads, I will praise thee. We're talking about we'll praise the Most High. For I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works. That's a full thought again. And that my soul knoweth right well. So when we were made fearfully and wonderfully. And we're part of his works and we're marvelous. Marvelous are his works because he took his time to create each individual. Every grain of our hair is accounted for. So he took his time, and you can see this. Genesis 1, verse 31. And it reads, And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, remember, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. So everything he made was very good. Remember, he made us. All right. So we know that God made us, and when we were made, we were, it was good and it was upright. But things creep in, and usually it starts as a youth. These insecure thoughts start from the youth. usually pushed on us by our peers, maybe even our parents. So it starts with something being out of the norm. Maybe your head may be a little bit bigger, your eyes a little bit different shape, your face, your height, your weight, your sound, your skin color, anything of the flesh usually is what you get you'll get shamed for, and then you'll end up getting insecure about that particular thing. Usually it's pushed on by, like I said, your peers, parents, at the youth when you're young. Because usually when you're young, you're not watching that much television to where it's telling you how you should look. So it starts from the youth, from the peers that you're around. And if you notice, when we were children, being around someone that doesn't look like you, even though they may look like you, but they have a certain quirk to them, it's easier to start saying bad things about them, you know, especially if everyone else is doing it. It's easier for you to join in and start making fun of somebody. So, and let's get this. So, things like birth defects, also how someone dresses, clothing, if it's not the latest fashion, if it's not the expensive clothes, it's not the Jordans, the Nikes, things like that affect the youth. Certain young kids that have to go through that, and they get um they get shamed for it, and then insecurities come in from that. All right, but let's read. But it's from the same people that you're around, the same people that look like you, and they're the ones doing it. So let's see this. Proverbs 28 and read 3. It's like this. A poor man that oppresseth the poor is like sweeping rain, which leaveth no food. So a poor man, that same your same neighbor, same people you going to school with, he oppressing you or oppressing a kid that looks just like them for maybe a little quirk, maybe the food, maybe the clothes they got on is off. Maybe the shoes is not Jordans, it's nor Nikes, it's got the Shacks. You're wearing the Shacks instead of the Jordans. So you're gonna get oppressed by that same kid that's in the same condition as you. That poor man, that poor child don't even know, really understand what he's doing, but like a sweeping rain, which leaveth no food, gonna leave nothing. It's just destroying everything, himself and you, because of insecurity. So it makes you insecure. And back there, you don't even know. They might be insecure doing that, but we're gonna see. And we're gonna read this again because it is people that are close to us when we're children that'll bring these insecurities. We're gonna go to Ezekiel 22, verse 5, and it says, "Those that be near and those that be far from thee shall mock thee, which art the perfection of beauty, infamous and much vexed." So the people closest to us, people that look like us, the people that sound like us, the people got the same hair as us, gonna be the ones mocking us or that did mock us back in grade school? Because we're still talking about grade school right here, early school, and those that be far from thee. So those different people, Gentiles, strangers, they still gonna mock, which brings insecurity, right? Okay. The reason this happens and what this brings when this happens, um, and we'll see what happens when this happens to a lot of us. A lot of us may still face this, but we'll see what happens. Now we're gonna go to Proverbs 3, and we're gonna go to verse 31, and it reads, "Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways." We envy the oppressor. A lot of us, once bullied, we get bullied, and become insecure, start wanting to be like the oppressor, and we start wanting to do what he does. Same people mocking you, you start, man, let me just be like them so they could just leave me alone and then we'll mock some other kid, you know? Being insecure in your thoughts. All right. So I'm gonna give y'all I'm gonna show you um when I was younger. Give y'all an example when I was younger and I was in my insecure thoughts. So when I was in fourth grade, I would leave my house in the morning before school started, go to my neighbor's house, my friend's house, my next door neighbor, and I would take my school clothes off, put his shorts on, and then put his shorts on, put his shirt on, put his shoes on, and then head to school like that. Forgetting with my clothes, I put them in my book bag. So before I get home, I put them on so I don't get in trouble. I was insecure of what I had with my clothes. So what I did, I pretended that all those things were mine. Go to school being like, yeah, 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 yeah. Got my big old jean shorts, looking like a fool, man. My 4X shirt, thought I was cool. But I was foolish, and what happened? I got caught and got the best whooping in my life. Well, one of the best whoopings in my life. When my dad caught me, it was the best thing he did, was whoop me till I couldn't be whooped no more. And I thank my father for that because it set me straight. Um, so what I learned from that was that me, now that I think upon it, what I was doing, I was coveting my neighbor's house, coveting what they had. So it leads me to this. And just remember this scripture right here. So I was so insecure, I started to covet. Now we're going to Ecclesiasticus, which is also known as Sirach 30. And we're going to look at verse 9. And it says, we're going to read 9 through 12. Conquer thy child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness. Yeah, I wasn't used to play with my pops. He wasn't playing that. And it says, laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him, unless thou gnash thy teeth in the end. Verse 11, give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his follies. When I was covered in that man's clothes, and I was dressing like him, he didn't wink at it. You know what happened? Verse 12, bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides. Exactly what happened. While he is a child, lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thine heart. At the moment, it hurt, but now when I ponder on these things, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. I was chastised for being a fool, for coveting something that wasn't mine. And it was from my insecure thoughts, insecure about my clothes. I didn't want people looking at me. I wanted them to be cool. That's what insecurity brings. Makes you ashamed of yourself, ashamed of what you have, anxious, don't know. But you see what happens. And we're going to look at this, what my father did. And remember this because it's going to come back to fruition afterwards. Exodus 20, verse 17. And it reads, oh no, I'm sorry. This isn't the verse. I'm sorry. It's actually Proverbs. Proverbs 13, verse 24. And it reads, he that spareth his rod hateth his son, but however he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. So I can count on my hands all the whoopings I've gotten. Stealing, skipping school, coveting, lying, and I forgot what the third one, I forgot what the fifth one was. But either way, those were the main whoopings I've ever gotten. And every time I've gotten it, set me straight. And I appreciate that. So, insecure thoughts will lead you to covet things, want to be like someone else, want something that somebody else has. But I was chastened, was beaten, whooped for this, and it set me on straight to not be insecure about these things. With that whooping, the insecure thoughts with the clothing flew away. As each scream from the whooping came, this is an insecurity that is removed by chastening, but there is one that is removed with time. So, so when I'll give you another story. So I have to give you an example of how I went through a lot of insecure thoughts and what are the things that got me out of there. And I still have some insecurities that we'll talk about in a little bit. But again, this is adolescent when I was a child. Now, as a child, I moved from Haiti to the Americas, not knowing the culture. I moved from Haiti to the Americas. Me not knowing the culture, I was in shock. Though I live with a lot of black folk, near a lot of black folk, different black folk from different areas of the world and country. But me seeing black people, I thought everybody was Haitian. But That surprised me that not a lot of people were Haitian. So what happened was I had an accent and strong accent, and people couldn't understand what I was saying. So what I learned, I tried to mask my accent and also let people know I wasn't from Haiti because I was insecure about that because what people used to say was Haitians eat dogs, Haitians eat cat, Haitians are dirty, Haitians stink. So I was really insecure from where I was born. So I would hide it, and it brought shame to me, which fed my insecure thoughts. The stigma that I was born from a dirty, poor country. I used to always lie. So insecurity will let you lie. And this insecurity, I grew out of it as I got older, started being cool to be Haitian. It was all right. I didn't care anymore about my accent or anything of that sort anymore. This was healed. I was healed through time with this, and I grew and got stronger, but some people didn't. Some people still lying now about where they came from. But let's look at this right here. Ecclesiastes. And we're going to look at 3, verse 3. That's how it went. It was a time to kill, a time to heal. That's a full thought. A time to break down, a time to build up. That's a full thought. I healed from that insecurity and I was building up from that. As I grew, got older, got more stable, got more stronger in who I am. Just regular stuff for that right there. But I learned who I was and I wasn't ashamed and insecure about that anymore. I could probably say who I was. Now I sit back and laugh and mock myself for even thinking and being ashamed of that. Because secretly, other kids that did mock me for the language and how I was acting or how I was, where I was from, they were jealous because I spoke another language and they were stuck with only one. That's what I've noticed now. But, however, there comes those that don't fade over time, those insecurities that don't fade over time, but it gradually gets worse if not checked. These insecurities can cause grave damage to someone. All right. And we're going to start here. These insecurities are hard to break. And remember, I was telling you about the people that get bullied for appearances and things of that sort. And let's read Ecclesiastes. We got right here. 7, verse 29. And it reads, Lo, this only have I found, that God hath made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. So God made us upright. Remember, everything that He created was very good, and it was wonderfully made, and it was upright, but they have sought out many inventions. So we sought out a lot of inventions, you know, a lot of inventions. And these inventions have a lot to deal with our fleshly image. In this society, it is norm for, we're going to start with women first. Yeah, start with y'all women. So, in this society, it is a norm for women to get butt, breast, face, neck, amputations, for them to look a certain way. Likewise, us men, we ain't no different. We'll get beards, hair, even fake abs, amputations on our bodies, all in the name of our insecurities, because the way we look bothers us so much and brings us shame for some reason. Some even make themselves taller. Ain't that crazy? As the times pass, the world gets deeper and deeper into this superficial way. A lot of us seek, we'll see what actually we're looking to do. In Galatians, or is it, man, what am I doing? Galatians 1:10, and it reads, for do I now persuade men or God? Do I seek to please men? Wait, that's a question. For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Christ. A lot of us that do these things, all we trying to do is persuade men, meaning trying to persuade these folks, and we trying to persuade ourselves that we look good with this, with that, because what we're pushing is these surgeries that we've gotten, but deep down in our hearts, it's insecurities, not secure within ourselves. We're not good with it. We're going to see some things about us that we do. Now let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 19. Let's see what a lot of us like to do. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, nay, however, we will have a king over us. We want a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations. It's a full thought. This is our problem right here. May be like all the nations, and that our king may what teach us and go out where in the presence of us and fight our battles. Yeah, the belief, our flesh gonna fight those battles. Our flesh gonna be the one to stand up for us, our looks, our outward appearance. But let's look what the Most High says. 16, 1 Samuel 16, verse 7. But the Spirit of God said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Spirit of God, the Lord, seeth not as man sees. For man, which is us, looketh on the outward appearance. That's what we do. But the Lord looketh on the heart. So we out here looking on the outside. God's looking on the inside. It's crazy, right? We outside, he inside. But we want to be like everyone else. And these insecure thoughts let us know the countenance is the most important thing. how someone looks, his height. No, females don't date. No, females do not date men shorter than 6 foot. Well, females in the world, a lot of them won't date a man shorter than 6 foot. But did you know only 3% of men in this world are 6'2" and above? So what does that tell you? Anyways, now let's go to Psalms, because this is what this brings. Psalms 10, verse 4, it says, "The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts." So you already know the people that just got these BBLs, these fake abs, all there was words about his countenance. They weren't worried about Jehovah. He wasn't in their thoughts due to insecurity. I want a bigger butt. I want bigger lips. I want a smaller nose. I want bigger breasts. I want this. I want to be tall. All through the lust of the eyes and these insecure thoughts brings all this wickedness. The question is, who and what are the people looking to please? Is it God or man? Plastic surgery, a byproduct of insecure thoughts. The bigger the butt, the bigger the lips, the bigger the breast, the taller the man, the chiseled jaws, the fake muscles. All these are nothing but lust of the eyes. And we're going to read 2 Timothy chapter 3. We're going to start at verse 1. And it reads, this know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves. They're going to love themselves. But do they really love themselves? Covetous. Remember, I did that when I was when I was wearing my people's clothes, my neighbor's clothes. Boasters. Proud. You're going to be proud. You're going to boast about your bigger butt, about your big lips. Everywhere you go, you're going to be showing it off. Insecure. Disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection. It ain't even real, bro. Truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors to your own self, heady, and traitors to God, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. That's what we about. For these scriptures, it may seem the characteristics are towards a person that is proud and a narcissist. But did you know that narcissism is a byproduct of insecurity? Narcissists and narcissism, being unsure about themselves, seek to boast as a way to mask from where they are lacking, as a way to make it look like they truly love themselves. However, this usually is a front. Behind closed doors It's shame and anxiety. Comparing, I want you to think of the person that goes and gets the BBL, the, the person that goes and gets the fake abs before they were insecure. Now, once they get these things, they're taking pictures all over, flaunting what they have. What they're actually doing is trying to hide their shame, trying to hide their insecurity. Behind closed doors, it's another world. That's why a lot of them you may see commit that deed that they shouldn't, where they take their own lives. And now let's go to Ecclesiasticus, which is also known as Sirach. Gonna look at some stuff. And we're gonna be told what we shouldn't do. Ecclesiasticus 11. Now let's read verse 2. It says, commend not a man for his beauty, neither arbor a man for his outward appearance. So, commend not a man for his beauty, man, just because a person looks good. You don't say, oh, that's so great, congratulations. Neither arbor, don't hate somebody because what they look like, ugly, cute. Everybody look good to somebody. But ugly, cute, that shouldn't be the thing to make you hate someone or to make you commend someone. Because at the end of the day, let's see this, First Peter 1:24. It reads, for all flesh is as grass, and all the glory of man as the flower of grass. The grass withereth, and the flower thereof falleth away. And we're going to put it right here in Revelations 8, verse 7. And it reads, the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And the third part of the trees was burnt up, including and all the green grass was burnt up. All flesh was burnt up from this hail, this fire. It was burnt up. Remember, it's just flesh. Our fleshly beauty is nothing. It's compared as grass. We try to upgrade as if we are computers and cell phones. Upgrade and get the bigger, the better, the taller. But that's not what we're supposed to do. Why do we hate God's beauty, what He created? Why do we try to change things? 1 Corinthians 6:19. What? That's a question. Know ye not that your body is a temple of the Holy Ghost, the separate body, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own. So you don't belong to yourself. You This body is rented. It's just rented. Just like when you go rent a car, you don't take the rims off, put your own rims on there. You don't color that car you rented. You don't do nothing with it. All you do is take it, you drive it to where you need to go, and go back home. It's not yours. Guess why? For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. And how do you glorify? Well, let's not get into that. But this is what we should do. Glorify God, not glorify ourselves, not try to make ourselves look better in the flesh, trying to push a look, trying to be Mr. Everything, Mrs. Everything, skinny nose. It's crazy, crazy. Eyebrows look like clowns. Man, it's crazy. All right, and then we're gonna keep going. This body does not belong to us. It is only a rental for our spirit. It was given for a reason, and it's not for nip and tucking. Let's go to Genesis 3. We're going to read verse 19. And it says, in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it was thou taken. For dust thou art, and dust shalt thou return. We are nothing but dust and ground, just here for the seed to grow. We do not dress the dirt or decorate the dirt, make the dirt bigger, make the dirt smaller. The dirt just needs to be prepared to take word. That's inside work, not outside. Let's go to back to First Corinthians. First Corinthians 6, and we're going to read verse 9. It says, know ye not, the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, or idolaters, make yourself an idol, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous. Remember, insecurity will lead to this. Insecurity will lead you to steal, be a thief. Insecurity will lead you to be a drunkard, a reveler, an extortioner, shall not inherit the kingdom of God. Insecurity can lead people to all these things, you know. So we have to check ourselves. These fleshly insecurities we have by how we look, the money we make, this is very dangerous and can lead to many different things. Me, myself, I got a big old head and a skinny body. It used to be worse until I started eating more. But this was one of my biggest insecurities also growing up. Like my big old head, man. And I was always scrawny. I tried. Well, I ain't tried. I ain't try to get big, man. And I should have. I could have just ate more, done something more, and it would have been good. But naturally, I could have ate more. Could have worked out to fill my body in. I know darn well I wasn't gonna go under no knife. It's crazy. But right here, back at verse 9, when we do these nip and tucking, all we're doing is abusing ourselves. These insecure thoughts will lead us to this. What it is, we start making cuttings in our flesh to put things inside our flesh that shouldn't be plastics, tubes, and all these other things. But let's go. I'm going to show you something real quick, man. It's crazy. Ecclesiasticus 4, which is also known as Sirach, verse 21. And it reads, and I stole this from Elder Jenkins the other day. For there is a shame that bringeth sin. Full thought. That's all I wanted to show. So the shame that bringeth sin. So remember, insecurity brings shame. Shame brings insecurity. And this brings sin. These um, evil thoughts. Right? Let me show you. Let me show you what Christ said. I'm gonna show you something. This is gonna be crazy. Matthew 4, verse 21. I'm sorry, no. Matthew 6, verse 27. And the question is asked by Christ. Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit unto his stature? That's a question. That's a very good question. Just by your thoughts, you could add 1 cubit to your stature, right? But there is a shame that bringeth sin. Watch this. He asked the question. This guy over here said, hold my beer. Look at this fool. This guy went into surgery to make himself taller. He broke his legs, shattered them to become taller. All from what? Let's read about him. He said that as far back when he was 15, he realized that his peers around him were taller, which made him feel unhappy. So what he did, he made himself taller. He had to shatter his own legs. Moses from Minneapolis, right? All from that insecure thoughts. It cost 75,000. After undergoing such a painful operations, it involves breaking his bones, having magnetic screws put in. Remember, an abuser of oneself. That's all he was, just abusing his own self. But from the ability of not getting girls, not feeling love, you be insecure. Now think, now your height has changed. Now, do they really like you for you? And do you even like yourself? Let's go here. Proverbs 6, verse 18. And it reads, verse 16. These 6 things does the Lord hate. Yeah, 7 are an abomination to him. All right. We're going to skip to verse 18. And it reads, a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift and run into mischief. So his feet ran to go do these things, and it was mischief, not knowing that one day he's going to go and it's going to rot away. And let's go to Ecclesiasticus, and we'll see this right here. And we're almost finished here. All these from Ecclesiasticus 14. We're going to read. Let's read verse 9. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion. I won't lie to y'all. I just stumbled upon this verse just now. And the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul. So he wants more. But I wanted to get to 17. And it reads, all flesh waxeth old as a garment, for the covenant from the beginning is, thou shalt die the death. You're going to die. And he's so busy with this flesh. And let's read verse 18. As the green leaves on a thick tree, some fall, some grow. So is the generation of flesh and blood. One cometh to an end, and another is born. Verse 19. Every work rotteth and consumeth away, and the worker thereof shall go withal. So that man gonna go and be consumed with that work that he did. And because he didn't, because everything God made was good. But he said, nah, hold my beer. I can make it better. But let's see how we can fix this. Let's go to Deuteronomy. This is what things we have to consider so we don't have these thoughts. Like I said, I'm battling having a big head and a skinny body. I want muscles. Deuteronomy 8, verse 6. And it says, therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Spirit of God thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to fear him, to desire him. All right? Oh, I'm sorry. We should have started at 5. It says, thou shalt also consider in thine heart that as a man chasten it. Remember, and before I read this, remember I told you my dad whooped my butt for being covetous to my friends' clothes and things like that. And it was brought through insecurity. So he's saying now, thou shalt also consider in thine heart that as a man chasteneth his son, so the Lord thy God chasteneth thee. So he gonna check you on these insecure thoughts you got. Why you thinking like that? In verse 6, it reads, Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, and to fear him, to desire him. You desire him. Don't desire to have a bigger butt, a big, uh, taller, all that stuff. Don't desire those things, because he gonna get hurt when these thoughts come. But just don't make sure you don't do them actions. Let's go to Hebrews. Almost finished, y'all. Okay, Hebrews 12, verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. All right, gonna check you. He gonna check you. Now, let's see someone. These gonna be our last scriptures. We're gonna see someone who is insecure about something, and go to Exodus 4, verse 10. All right. Mm, okay. Well, yeah, let's just start at verse 10. And it reads, And Moses said unto the Spirit of God, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech, and of a slow tongue. So Moses was like, Yo, I can't really speak the language like that no more, man. How am I supposed to go talk to these people? I can't do it. I don't talk like them like that no more. But this is what the Most High says. And the Lord said unto him, Who hath made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord? So he's questioning him like, yo, you know I did all these things. Why are you tripping about what you sound like? And he says, Now therefore, go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say. Okay, you tell him again, do this. And then guess what? And he said, O my Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him who thou wilt send. You see, we have these little doubts in us. But guess what? And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses. And he said, Is not Aaron the Levite thy brother? I know that he can speak well. And also, behold, he cometh forth to meet thee. And when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart. So he checked him right there because of that. So let's not be insecure, and let's have hope. And because, go here, this will be the last two verses. Romans 8, verse 24. It says, For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doth he yet hope for it? I wish I could have bigger arms. I wish I could be taller. You could just work out, bro. I wish I could have a flat tummy. I wish I could have bigger breasts. That's what people want. Now, verse 25, it says, but if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. We gonna wait. The insecure is not gonna wait. They're gonna be in their heads thinking what someone else has is better than what they have. And they're gonna covet that. They're gonna lust after it. They're gonna envy it. They're gonna do all these things. So let's not be insecure and let's grow. Let's have hope. And I bid to everybody, shalom. Hope everyone got something today. Shalom.